Welcome to SmartLiving training, setting up proximity readers. Here is what we will cover in this session. There are three types of card readers available for the system: readers built into touchscreen keypads, surface mount readers, and flush mountable readers. Some of the features include direct bus connection for the readers, IP34 weather rating for the surface mount reader, 4 individually triggered functions per reader or user with multicoloured LED feedback, status buzzer for alarm alerts, and all readers work with the standard Ness EM format tags and cards. To install the surface mount reader, find a suitable mounting location, keeping in mind that mounting to a metal surface may reduce the read range. Run a shielded data cable direct to the reader and ground the shield at one end of the cable. If the reader is being installed externally, consider a bus isolator to protect the system from shorts or damage to the cable. To install the flush mounted reader, find a suitable mounting plate, but do not use a metal plate as the reader will not be able to read through metal. Use the included mounting template to install the reader on the plate. Attach the reader directly to the data bus using a shielded data cable, grounding the shield at one end of the cable. All card readers are set to address 1 by default. Here is an overview of the flush mounted reader being installed in a plate. Alien keypads have the reader inbuilt into the bottom right of the keypad. Simply install the keypad as required, running a shielded data cable and grounding the shield at one end of the cable. The keypad's reader will be set to address 1, but this can be changed. Each reader on the system must have a unique address. Wireless transceivers are also considered a reader and must be addressed accordingly. By default, all readers are set to address 1. If multiple readers are on the system, these must all be addressed. The fast addressing method places all devices on the bus into address setting mode. Simply place the maintenance jumper on and within 4 seconds press the onboard tamper. This will place keypads and readers into address setting mode and the current address will be displayed. It is required to have the panel in maintenance mode when changing the address on any device. To change the proximity reader address in a touchscreen keypad, place the panel in maintenance mode, press the settings button, press Alien, and then change the proxy address setting. Press save when done. The address settings are located at the top of the page. If these are not available, then the panel is not in maintenance mode. These options are normally hidden to prevent accidental changing of the address. To activate proximity address mode from a keypad, first place the panel into maintenance mode, enter installation programming, scroll down and select readers, then select the option program address. All readers will now be in address setting mode and their current address will be displayed. Proximity readers display their address via the LEDs as per the table on the left. This information is included with every SmartLiving panel and is also available in the installation manual. To change the address of a reader, you will first need a Ness EM format prox tag or card. This does not have to be a programmed card, any EM format card will do. With a reader in address setting mode, hold a card against the reader and the LEDs will cycle through the addresses. Remove when the desired LED address is displayed. Once all readers have been addressed, press OK to end reader programming. To activate address setting mode via the software, place the system into maintenance mode and then select the Reader tab in the software. Press the Proximity Reader Address Configuration button and then use a prox tag to set the address as previously shown. Click End Proximity Reader Address Configuration to complete the address setting mode. The software also has a built-in LED code display. which will show the LED readout for a reader address. Readers can be assigned to one or more partitions. Partitions do not have to be used for security specifically, they can be used to restrict access to readers. Users can only access a reader in a partition they belong to. Arm disarm will only occur if both the reader and user belong to a partition. To assign readers to a partition, enter Installation Programming, scroll down and select Readers, select Choose Peripheral, and then select a reader to configure. Select the Partitions option, and then use the check keys to select the partitions, and press OK to save. Readers can be used to trigger a number of different functions. Door control is achieved by assigning an Activate Output task to one of the reader functions. An output must first be configured, which may require the addition of a Flex 5 I/O module. First, select a terminal that can be programmed as an output. Terminals require a relay to switch power to a door lock. The onboard 5 terminals cannot be configured as outputs. Consider adding descriptions to make programming easier. Here is a typical example of a relay switching power through to a lock. To configure an output for door control, enter Installation Programming, select the Terminals menu, then use the up and down keys to scroll through expanders and the left and right keys to locate the terminal to configure for an output. Press the number 2 to set the terminal as an output. Next, press OK on the terminal to configure it. Select Output Options, and then select the Monostable option on. Press OK to save. This will set the output as a pulsed output. Next, select the monostable time and enter the required time to trigger the door output. Ensure that the seconds option is selected and press OK to save. Any functions that can be assigned to function keys or radio key fobs can also be assigned to card readers. Up to 4 functions can be assigned per card reader and are assigned to the 4 LED colours. Arming Scenario 1 is assigned to the readers by default. Users trigger reader functions by presenting their card and observing the coloured LED as it cycles through red, blue, green and yellow. A user simply removes their card when the required LED colour is displayed. The red LED also doubles as ARM status feedback. This can be disabled if required. To assign reader functions, first decide on the functions that will be assigned for the reader. Enter Installation Programming, scroll down and select Readers, select Choose Peripheral, select the reader to configure, and then select the Shortcuts option. Select the LED shortcut to configure, and then choose the type of event. To disable an LED function, select None as the type. For access control, select Activate Output, then select your configured output. Continue assigning each LED a function, remembering to select None if it is not required. To enrol access cards and fobs to the system, enter Installation Programming, scroll down and select Keys, select Enrol, and then select a reader to enrol the cards from. Select the key to enrol, and then the reader and the currently enrolling key will be displayed on the screen. Present the card to the reader, and the reader LEDs will flash and the card is now programmed. The system will progress to the next card automatically, and you can continue enrolling cards until completed. Once enrolled, observe the keypad's display to ensure that all keys were enrolled. Press OK to complete. Assigning a description to keys will allow for easy management in the future. Descriptions can be assigned before or after enrolling keys by going to Keys, Key Parameters, selecting the key number, and then assigning a description. To delete enrolled cards, enter Installation Programming, scroll down and select Keys, and then select the Delete Key option. Use the Uncheck button to deselect any learned keys and press OK to save, or press C to cancel. The Keys menu is for proximity cards and wireless key fobs. Be sure not to accidentally delete RF key fobs if these are enrolled as well. This is where assigning descriptions can be beneficial. For a user to be able to access a reader, both the reader and the user must be assigned to the same partition. Partitions can be used to easily group doors and readers together to restrict access. This applies to all functions, not just for arm, disarm and access control. To configure user access to readers, first identify the partitions the user needs to access. Enter installation programming, scroll down to keys, select key parameters, and then select a key to configure. Select partitions for the key using the check buttons and press OK to save. In addition to the 4 reader assigned functions, it is possible to assign user-specific functions for card readers. Using the digital key single shortcut feature, this allows a 5th function to be assigned to a user. This additional function is assigned on a per user basis and is triggered in addition to the reader's functions. Optionally, the digital key user shortcut feature allows a user to have 4 shortcuts assigned instead of the reader's functions. This is on a per user basis and will override the main reader functions. This can be useful for lift control, multi-area access, and single reader use from multiple users. By default, the digital key single shortcut feature is enabled, and the arm disarm partition 1 is set by default for all users. This needs to be disabled if not required. To configure the extra digital key single shortcut feature for a user, enter installation programming, scroll down and select keys, select key parameters, select the key to configure, and then select the shortcuts menu. Select the F1 shortcut and then select the type of function. F2 through to F4 are non-applicable for this application. If a user-specific function is not required, set the type to none. To test a user's single key shortcut, hold a user's card in front of a reader and wait for the reader LEDs to cycle. When all LEDs flash, remove the card to trigger the user-specific function. If no user-specific shortcut has been enabled, the reader will loop back to the red LED function. To enable user-specific shortcuts instead of the reader's main 4 functions, enter installation programming, scroll down to keys, select key parameters, and select a key to configure. Select the key options, and then enable Use Key Shortcuts. Press OK to save. This now enables the user's F1 through F4 functions instead of the reader functions. To configure the user's shortcuts, enter installation programming, scroll down to keys, select key parameters, and then select the key to configure. Select the shortcuts menu, and then select one of the F1 through F4 shortcuts for the user. Select the type of function to be triggered. F1 through F4 apply to the 4 LED colours. To test, hold a user's card to the reader, wait for the reader LED to display, and remove the card on the desired LED colour. Observe the triggered function. The triggered function should apply to the user's specific card instead of the reader programmed function. If multiple users have been programmed with different functions, each user should be triggering their own function. A spare zone on the system can be configured to trigger an output, such as when used for request to exit situations. Be sure to observe emergency exit and fire safety laws to ensure that any REX button meets the required standards. To configure a request to exit input, enter installation programming, scroll down to zones, and then select a zone to be used for the request to exit input. Select type, and then select automation as the type. The automation option is used for any non-security input. Next, select line termination to set the type of input. Set the termination for the input, and then press escape to return to the main menu. If using an end-of-line resistor type of zone, you must ensure that the REX switch opens the zone instead of shorting the zone, as a short will create a fault on the keypad. Next, from the Installation Programming menu, select Events, and then scroll down and find Real-Time Zone. Select the Rect Zone, then select Activation, and scroll down and select Output. Locate the required output and press OK. Press Escape to exit the main menu when completed. This now creates an activation event for a zone to activate an output when it is triggered.